Hey guys, hope you and the families are doing well. In this video, I'd like to teach you what I think is one of the most important and advanced trading related concepts, which is intraday relative strength and weakness. Now, I've very rarely, if ever, seen this discussed in the popular trading books and or on YouTube. So I really hope you're going to enjoy learning about this concept for intraday relative strength and weakness. I think it is very important. It's one of the cornerstones of my trading strategy as well. Now, the video itself is going to be an extract from one of my twice a week live coaching sessions that I undertake with members. So if you'd like to see the whole of the video, all the other videos, and or participate in these live coaching sessions with me, then you can become a member via my platform. Market Surge are today's video sponsor. They're my go-to resource for analyzing company fundamentals. If you're interested in a discounted trial, then you'll find a link to that in the description and the comment section below. Hey guys, I hope you and your families are all doing well. This is the live coaching session. Today's date is the 24th January 2025. So this is where we're going to be focused intraday. I'm going to spend a lot of time really discussing the points of intraday relative strength and intraday relative weakness. I apologize in advance. It's probably going to come across as a little bit of a rant, but what I want to do is really focus on intraday relative strength and intraday relative weakness, because if you're trading intraday, I think it's not the most important thing, because there's never just one thing which is the most important thing, but I think this is the most important thing to really nail down. That if you are looking for long setups, to be aware of intraday relative strength. If you're looking for short setups, to be aware of intraday relative weakness, and also the subtleties between how it changes as the session plays out. Okay, so it can be kind of 5 minutes by 5 minutes. You want to be aware of, in the moment, am I seeing intraday relative strength or weakness, but also zoom out a little bit. Okay, the intraday trend of the stock, the thinking about it on the daily chart as well. What do you think is probable if this starts to move down on daily chart? Where could that go to? So there's a lot of things that we're going to be thinking about. You'll see in the chat. I want to try and make these ones a little bit more interactive, because I just want to spend a lot of time on intraday relative strength and weakness probably for the next couple of weeks. So I think it's really important. So if there are trades that you've taken, preferably in the last couple of days or so, even today, would be kind of ideal, just because of how obviously it's just easier from my perspective if we review trades in recent sessions, or today is even easier. So if you want me to review any trades that you've taken, yeah, okay, so I will bring you in a little bit after Shane. Just let me know the ticker, let me know the time of entry and the date, of course, the entry price and the initial stop loss. And what I'll do is I will load it up side by side like this. We'll put it versus whatever stock you were trading. If it's RGTI or this stock or that stock, we'll put it either versus the triple Qs or the S&P 500, and I'll try and give you a little bit of feedback in terms of, was it a good trade, bad trade, some kind of constructive feedback as well, relative strength, relative weakness, and all of those good things. So I'm just going to shout for the first 10 minutes or so, and then see that Shane and Case are happy to join it, and then I will bring them in. So let me just start off with some from today. Okay, this is RGTI, and we can expand this a little bit more as well, thinking about themes. So what I think is really important, I can't stress this enough, try and make it easier for yourself. Okay, so what I've got over here is a TradingView watch list. This is just the market overview list. Okay, you can create sections in your TradingView watch list. So you see here, I've got general, I've got sectors, I've got equal weight ETF, group theme ETFs. Okay, so what you can do, and I think is really useful on a day-to-day basis, is create your own watch list in TradingView, and then have sections, okay, which you categorize like this. So to add a section, you simply do this, add a section. Okay, you can then rename it, call it AB, whatever you want to call it. Okay, what I would suggest doing, okay, is having a kind of the positions that you are long, so then you can just track your positions really easily. I would then have another section which is like targeting watching, so you're watching those really closely. I would then have some more sections such as your kind of mega caps and all your TMLs, your momentum leaders, but then also have the themes. If you can categorize things into themes, I think it's really useful. So you could have your themes of drone stocks, semiconductor stocks, quantum computing related stocks, crypto related stocks, whatever it may be, because then you can see them right there. Okay, this will really help you with identifying very early on, is there intraday relative strength or weakness in this stock, plus the theme and or group as well. And then you can like color code it, right? So if you like, imagine this is like a stock, you can be like, okay, in the sectors, maybe it's XLK is really strong, XLY is, just color code them like that. Maybe bump them up into your targeting watch as well. So then it's just really dialed in, you'll really focus, and you'll be able to spot these things. So this is something here that happened in the first 5 minutes today. So, but thanks, Dustin. Apologies if this sounds like a rant. It's going to come across as a little bit as a rant, very kind of black and white. Okay, this is RGTI today, on the 24th as we're looking at. This is the triple Qs today on the 24th, okay? RGTI is the leader in the quantum computing theme. I know you can see the daily charts here. For me, it's the leader from a technical perspective, okay? It's showing the most amount of relative strength, pretty good liquidity on it as well, yada, yada. Like, it's a really strong stock right now, I think, RGTI. So if you look at the difference in the first, I'm even rolling up my sleeves. If you look at the difference between RGTI in the first 5 minutes and the triple Qs, the bars from a supply and demand perspective are polar opposites. They couldn't be any more chalk and cheese. Okay, what is RGTI telling you? There's some decent volume coming through on a relative basis too. What is it telling you? It opens on the low, okay, pushes up, decent close, a little supply shoot on it, but a very strong bar, and it's a very strong bar relative. So this is the point of relative. So it's relative to the triple Qs. What's the triple Q do? Opens on pretty much the high, little supply shoot there, couldn't take out the pre-market highs, fails there, and then goes out down here, little shakeout demand tail on it, but that's a very weak bar for the first 5 minutes. So RGTI in the first 5 minutes was already telling you, I'm very strong today. And then what you could see as well, if you're categorizing it, as I said over here with a TradingView watch list, you could see that it's not just RGTI doing this today. Okay, it's QBT, it's QBTS, it's IONQ. A lot of quantum computing stocks look like that in the first 5 minutes. So this is signaling to you, this could be the day for quantum computing stocks. That doesn't just have to be quantum computing stocks. It could be crypto stocks. It could be precious metal miners. It could be solar stocks, EV stock, whatever it may be. But this really helps you dial in on what are the strongest themes today. So you're already doing the work from kind of a daily screening perspective and going, okay, this stock here, RGTI looks interesting. Oh, that's interesting. There's another 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them that also look interesting. So they're already on your radar. They're already categorized like this. So then you can see on this day here, like this could be quite a strong day for RGTI. So what I'm doing here is taking the 5 minute ORB. Okay, it's already strong on the daily chart, I can see that. And then intraday, this is what I'm looking for. This is what I'm trying to pay attention to. Now, do they all do this? They don't all do this, okay? But the point is, I'm trying to identify very early on, where is the strength? What is going to be the really strong, hot theme today? I already know it from kind of a daily chart perspective. Now I'm just wondering, and I don't know ahead of time, whether it's going to be quantum computing stocks moving, crypto stocks moving, but what else looks pretty interesting right now? Whether it's going to be the mega caps moving, whether it's going to be the drone stocks or the space stocks, clean alter, I don't know. But if I see this action very early on, I'm going, this could be the day for these stocks. Okay, so then if I'm going to go target, say, 5 minute ORBs, or potentially it combines with, say, an Morello or something like that, I'm already picking up on the relative strength very, very early. Go and rant about a couple of more today. I'll come on to NVDA as that's relative weakness. What's relative strength? This one here, this is PDYN, okay? This here from today is another example of relative strength. So it's not as strong as RGTI, okay? But PDYN, strong stock, nice kind of theme as well. Robotics and drone plus AI related. Is it robotic? May not be robotics. Drone and AI, drone and software AI related. Okay, if we look at the first 5 minute bar today for PDYN, which is trading right around its 10-day EMA. So this is also a 10-day EMA in Morello plus an opening range breakout. Okay, oftentimes they can kind of coincide if they're around key daily moving averages. The stock goes early on in the session. I quite like it when they kind of marry up like that as well. Okay, so PDYN is the same point as RGTI, not as strong, but it's a shakeout demand tail. Okay, it goes down, someone then step back in right around that 10-day EMA. What does the triple Qs do? Oh, we already discussed that when we were talking about RGTI. Okay, so if we then play this forward for RGTI, okay, nice trend here, try and sit along that 5 minute 6 EMA at a minimum. Okay, but this is already signaling to you, PDYM was already signaling to you in the first 5 minutes and in the first 10 minutes. I mean, look at the action of the first 10 minutes, 15 minutes compared to the first 10, 15 minutes of the triple Qs. PDYM was already telling you, I'm really, really strong today. I'm a strong stock today. It's already there. Like, it's signaling to you. Strong, strong, strong. And if other stocks from the group theme are doing it, that can be really, really constructive. Let me just show you some other quantum computing related stocks. There, QBT was a good one. So if you look at QBT today, today's action as we currently look at it, look at the difference in the first 5 minutes compared to the triple Q's first 5 minutes. Okay, if we go for there's IONQ, there's QBTS as well, which was pretty strong action. Look at the difference in the first 5 minute candlestick to the first 5 minute candlesticks. If you can dial in on not only the kind of momentum leader or the TML type stocks, but if there's a group, if there's a theme looking really, really strong, that can be very, very interesting. So then let me take you to NNE, which was a couple of sessions ago. So this stock here is powering through the high of the prior session. But the point I want to emphasize here as well is dialing in on the theme and also the intraday relative strength. So we're looking at the daily charts are here on Wednesday, the 22nd of January, 2025. Okay, so I pointed to the daily charts up here. So you can see the daily chart there, for NNE, and you can see the daily chart here for the SPY as well. So the theme kind of driving this is AI data center build out, and then the energy that's going to be required for said data centers. So NNE, they literally have a drawing on a piece of paper. A company is profitless, but it's kind of theme, it's hype, it's momentum. Okay, in the first 5 minutes on the 22nd of Jan 2025, what do you see NNE do? NNE, really nice bar. Okay, opens here, there's a little shakeout demand tail, but see how this first 5 minute candlestick, it goes out right on the high of the bar. Let's contrast that with what does the S&P 500 do on the 22nd of Jan 2025. It's kind of like a bullish-ish doji shakeout, but it's not a very bullish. It's kind of okay, right? It kind of opens here, it trades down, gets bought up a little bit. I wouldn't go as far to say it's a shakeout demand tail. It's a cross between a shakeout demand tail and a doji, right? There's a bit of this, bit of that. But contrast it to what did NNE do in the first 5 minutes? NNE is ripping. Like, it's ripping out. Like, this is intraday relative strength straight off the bat, right out of the open. And then what you're looking at is you're going, okay, NNE strong, Oklo is strong, SMR is strong, GV strong, VST strong. Like, they're moving, they're strong. This is then potentially where you want to then focus today. It's giving you a clue. It's dialing you in on this is potentially the area where you want to be. If you look at the first 15 minutes, okay, NNE is then trading up here in the first 15 minutes. The S&P 500 is just down here somewhere. Okay, NNE really strong. This is the type of things that you do want to see. Let me see what else I can rant about. We could do video short. Okay, let's. I'm going to do one more on relative strength, and then I'll take you through a couple of intraday relative weakness. Yes, I will do that. Okay. IAG. Okay, so precious metal miners, okay, they tend to mean revert. What does that mean? They tend to kind of chop around and do this, do that. They don't. I mean, you can kind of sit here with a chart of idea. I mean, sometimes there's some good trends, but generally it's kind of like this, right? There can be some good trends, but generally they push up, pull back, push up, pull back, push up, pull back. So I oftentimes don't want to be chasing them on strength unless they look really good. Okay, so yesterday, so this is going to be the 23rd of January. Okay, yesterday 2025. Here IAG pulls back down, okay, to its 21-day EMA. So there's a couple of things to note here. Okay, you can see intraday relative strength, but ideally you want to see relative strength on the daily chart as well. So what we've got is GDX. Okay, IAG, as the name implies, IM Gold Corporation, is a precious metal miner, predominantly gold miner, whereas GDX is forming a gap down reversal bar off its 200-day simple period moving average. So the 200-day on IAG is all the way down here. If you want to see how I set my scaling up, by the way, it's like this: auto fits data to screen, select scale price chart only. That means it won't do the moving averages. If the 200 days way down here, it'll skew it all up basically. That's how I have it logarithmic as well. Works best for my eyes. Okay, so on the daily chart, we're already seeing a lot of relative strength here. The stock is way above its 200-day, whereas GDX is actually just trading down to its 200-day. It's below 65-day EMA. Like, IAG is way stronger from a daily chart perspective. Okay, so then what happens during the session? So this is then yesterday's session. Okay, trades down, you get kind of a little false Morello here around the 10-day EMA. Stock's not ready, and all kind of precious metals in general aren't ready. Okay, you get a turn there. So if you're buying it there, stop loss there, you're stopped out. Not every single trade is going to work. Okay, then pulls back down to its 21-day EMA. As IAG pulls back down to its 21-day EMA, what do you notice about the volume? See the volume here? The volume is increasing. What's that telling you? There's interest here around the 21-day EMA. Now, what you're trying to do with a bit of detective work is go, is the interest supply or demand? What do you think it is? Well, what do you start to see? Bullish change character bar, shakeout demand tail, reclaiming this looks like accumulation. This looks like buyers stepping up here around the 21-day EMA. Now, at the same time, IAG is here around its 21-day EMA. Where is GDX? What does GDX do? Look at that. What bar is that? A big shakeout demand tail at 11.10 on its 200-day simple period moving average. Like, this for me is a spot where gold miners could do that. Gold miners could do that. So this is how you can dial in and identify relative strength on the daily chart, looking for the strongest stocks. IG up here on its 21-day EMA, just below its 10. GDX here, okay, on its 200-day. IG, the stock is a lot stronger, but then you're trying to correlate the stock bouncing with also the applicable group bouncing, GDX, and preferably gold, whether that be spot gold or potentially gold futures as well, is also bouncing and turning up as they were around this time. Okay, so this here is how you can look for relative strength daily chart, intraday relative strength as well. Let me now take you through intraday relative weakness. Okay, intraday relative weakness. Let's clean this up. Let's do Okay, let's do NVIDIA first. Okay, so I shorted NVIDIA earlier on a breakdown through this bar, which is 11 a.m. Eastern time, New York time. Okay, so I shorted NVIDIA through the low of this bar. But trade up, trade. Okay, like this. Okay. Now the reason is NVIDIA is showing intraday relative weakness. Okay, so here are some of the nuances to try and pick up on. Okay, so if you look at the first 5-minute candlestick for NVIDIA, maybe a little bit more bullish than the triple Qs, but arguably kind of bearish candlestick, right? But I wouldn't say here NVIDIA is displaying a lot of intraday relative weakness. I would just say NVIDIA pretty weak open, Qs pretty weak open as well. There's nothing really sticking out to me there. Okay, where it starts sticking out to me is what happens next. So then if you look at 935 for the triple Qs, 935, that bar there, 935 for NVIDIA, you're starting to see it now. Okay, you're starting to see the story unfold. So what does NVIDIA do? Well, NVIDIA breaks down through its 5-minute 6 EMA, its 5-minute 21 EMA, and this bar here at 935 is a much more bearish bar than this bar here for the Qs at 935. Okay, Qs is more of a shakeout to Martel. NVIDIA, it's just rolling out of bed. NVIDIA is now weaker. Do I want to short it right there? I don't want to short it. I don't want to short it right there. That's not where I want to come in. If we then look at the next bar as well, okay, what do you see the triple Qs do? So this is now at 940. Okay, the triple Qs has this supply shoot. It's trying to reclaim these intraday moving averages on the 5-minute chart. Orange line, 5-minute 6 EMA, blue line, 5-minute 21 EMA, okay? The supply shoot is telling you what? The supply shoot is telling you there's willing buyers there. There must be. Price is trying to go up, but someone sold into it. With NVIDIA, is there even a rally attempt? There's a feeble little supply shoot. Inside bar supply shoot, but it's down here. It's not even able to breach the high of that prior bar. Look, the prior of the higher bar is up here. The prior of the higher bar for the Qs is down here. It's been able to breach that. Okay, now if you look at the difference, so now we're just going to go forward 1 bar to here. So now we're at 945. Look at the difference. What does the triple Q do at 945? Look at the strength of the bar at 945. Look at the strength of the bar of NVIDIA. If you're just looking at NVIDIA in isolation, you may be thinking, this is going to turn, this is going to go up. This is looking really, really strong. It's not looking that strong if you're thinking about it relative to the triple Qs at this moment in time. Okay, the triple Qs is moving through, okay, the pre-market highs, and it's also moving through the opening high of the 5-minute bar. See that? Triple Qs moves through, closes above it. What does NVIDIA do? NVIDIA gets nowhere near the pre-market high up here, or the high of the first 5-minute count. It's nowhere near it. This is intraday relative weakness. These are the things to pick up on, okay? I'm not going long NVIDIA today unless something miraculous happens and NVIDIA suddenly starts showing a lot of relative. I'm also not going to do it up here, short-term extended up here, okay? So then what happens is in the subsequent bars, NVIDIA, we will get to NVIDIA, the triple Qs rolls over. So the triple Qs tries to go through the high of the day, rolls over like this. NVIDIA doesn't even get to the high of the day, just starts rolling over. NVIDIA is weaker. The MACD is also signaling negative, okay? Bearish MACD signal coming through in here as well. Then it's the context of the breadth readings, okay? So I spoke about in the IMRESH course, the intraday moon version short course, about being aware of 20-day moving average breadth readings from a tactical perspective, but also the bigger tides being the 50-day, okay? Where are we from a breadth standpoint? 20-day moving average readings are up here in overbought territory. What I think is probably going to happen, I think it's probably going to flow from overbought to oversold, back to overbought, back to oversold. That's how it's going to wiggle and jiggle, I think. So therefore you could see, I think it's quite reasonable to think, you could see a pullback in the triple Qs into fill this gap high from the Jan 21st higher day. That could be a confluence of the 10-day as that slowly starts to catch up in here. Maybe it kind of shakes out, gap down reverse bar, shake out to Montel to the 21-day. If those don't hold, you got the 50-day. So then what you could see is a larger cup and a handle type pattern as this happens here. Kind of makes sense to me. That's a scenario in my head for how it may play out. So then when shorting NVIDIA there, let me go and find it. Okay, so the entry is on a breakdown through this bar. Okay, so if we now play it through to let's go to here, which would be 1055, and let's go play this to 1055 as well. Okay, so at 1055, I'm just going to take these markings off and just do it like this. Okay, for me, I risked it to just above high of the day, actually, just above these pre-market highs. 149.13 is where my stop is. Could I have gone a little bit tighter, just over the high of that bar? Yeah, absolutely. Could have done either or, basically. Initial risk on trades like 1.3, 1.35%. Absolutely fine, keeping the risk in check. So if I now look here, so this is where I'm then continuing to look. Is the stock I'm short or is the stock I'm long? Okay, well, stock I'm long or short, is it showing intraday relative weakness or is it showing intraday relative strength? And it wiggles and jiggles, it changes, okay? So if we now look here, we're at 1055. 1055 for NVIDIA, 1055 for the triple Qs. Where's the triple Qs? Well, the triple Qs, okay, broke down through The prior session low, tried to hold there with these shakeout demand tails, but again, beginning to roll over. If you look at NVIDIA relative to the prior session lows, it tried to hold. NVIDIA is almost like a step ahead. You seeing this? NVIDIA is almost like a step ahead of the triple Qs in terms of breaking to the downside. So NVIDIA at 1055 is already broken to the downside. It's like 20 minutes ahead of the triple Qs. See that? The triple Qs is kind of here, like it's trying to like hang on in this region, but NVIDIA's already gone, no, I'm just so weak to it. I'm just going to break that. Like these are the things to then like pick up and notice on. Even now, okay, if we look at the bar as it's playing out, look at the strength of the triple Q. It's trying to reclaim this 5-minute 21 EMA. Look at NVIDIA. Can NVIDIA reclaim its 5-minute 21 EMA? No. NVIDIA here is still signaling, I'm weaker. Like I'm weaker. If you look at the strength of the reversal at 1105 and 1105 here, what's stronger? The triple Q's reversal, to my eyes, just eyeballing it, is stronger. If you then look over here as well, okay, 1115, shake out demand tail for the triple Qs. What does NVIDIA do? Just kind of like a bearish doji bar. You see here, so this is how you then just tracking it on a day-to-day basis. Now I'll do this, and this will dictate. I get asked a lot like, oh, do you hold these for a swing? It depends how it plays out. So these are the things to notice. For me, if I'm going to hold a short, I want to see continued relative weakness for the stock. I want to see NVIDIA continue to act weaker than the Qs and the SPYs. If I was going to be long a stock, so take RGTI for instance, okay, what do I want to see? I want to see it continuing throughout the session then into the close for it to continue to be stronger than the major indexes. So it's like it's not that you make the decision in the moment, you continue to make the decision as new information is becoming available to you. So hopefully that kind of useful for understanding intraday relative weakness. I'll do one more on them as well. So this is where we go into the weeds on it a little bit. So if you're thinking about MicroStrategy, it's going to have a correlation with the major indexes, more so the Qs and the SPYs, because it's a software company, but Corsellis kind of gone YOLO into Bitcoin, right? So when I'm looking at MicroStrategy, I'm thinking about it relative to the triple Qs, more so than the S&P 500, the SPY ETF, but I'm also thinking the highest correlation is to Bitcoin, okay? If Bitcoin goes higher, MSTR should go higher. Notice that word, should go higher, okay? If it doesn't, and or I see actually it does go higher and Bitcoin hasn't gone higher, I want to notice that for relative strength and relative weakness. That could dictate whether I'm looking to go long or short the stock. So if we look at MSTR, okay, this is at 940. So I'm just going to point here to 940. Maybe it's easier for you guys if I actually write it like this. So if we go 940 here, okay, for MSTR, and now let's go 940 for Bitcoin. Okay, in the first 5 minutes, so I'm actually just going to also just the arrow that I'm doing is 930, okay? Arrow 930. If we were to look at the first 5 minute candlestick at 930 for MSTR, bearish bar, right? Kind of looking a little bit like the Qs. There's nothing special going on here, okay? It's not like PDY that I showed you, RGTI that I showed you, some of the other quantum stocks, okay? It's not the day today. For me right now, it may turn around if MSTR pulls down to say it's 10-day and 21-day, 10-day and 50-day SMA on the daily chart, shows a lot of intraday relative strength, turns around and goes. You can get that. You can get those transitions in terms of intraday relative strength to relative weakness and vice versa. But at 9:30, I'm thinking MSTR looks weak, Bitcoin looks weak. The next bar for Bitcoin at 9:35 for MSTR and Bitcoin, what do you notice? Bitcoin is able to reverse, take out the high at the first 5 minute candlestick. See that? That 9:30 bar takes it out. Strong reversal. What does MSTR do? MSTR can't even attempt to get through the high of that first 9:30 candlestick, around 378. See that? Okay, it's a bullish bar, but it's weaker relative to Bitcoin. So even though it's a strong bar in terms of, well, it's a bullish bar, isn't it, Jack? Yes, but it's still relative to Bitcoin weaker. Why is MSTR weaker? Now, where you read it, this is then like standout relative weakness, okay? This is screaming short me, short me, short me kind of thing, okay? At 9:40, look at MSTR. It's a feeble doji candlestick with a supply sheet. Can't get above the opening 5 minute print. What does Bitcoin do? Bitcoin, this is ripping high. This is literally ripping higher. Okay, look at this. Strong bar, good volume coming through, powering higher. So MSTR is supposed to correlate and track Bitcoin. It's not. Why is it doing that? I don't know. But what I do notice here is there's a lot of intraday relative weakness. Look at the strength of Bitcoin. Look at MSTR, how it's weak anyway, and very weak on a relative basis to Bitcoin. Okay, so then the short is this bar. Let me just put that through. This bar, Bitcoin is now having a change of character. MSTR, look how weak it is. So it's like a layup short here. Okay, through the low, stop above, high of the day. That's the short. I'll just then play this forward. Okay, like that. And then where is the first place that it's likely to find supportive action? If you were thinking here, it's what I said earlier. 10-day and 50-day is right there. Did it find support on the 10-day and the 50-day SMA? Yep, right there. You can see it with this big shakeout demand tap. So that's then going to be your covering point. You can then think about the risk relative to potential reward. Okay, if I'm short now, how much risk am I taking on? Where's my kind of first covering point? Maybe then want to keep some backs if it breaks a little bit later on. And again, here, Bitcoin is in a steady uptrend intraday. MSTR during that time, pretty flat, right? MSTR tried to rally here and someone smashed it back down again. So this is how you kind of wiggle and jiggle with it in terms of spotting intraday relative strength, intraday relative weakness, and just being aware of it as the session plays out. I think it's ridiculously important to train your eyes to spot this, and also realize that you will constantly change your mind throughout the session, and that's fine. It's okay to change your mind when new information becomes available to you. So if I go through, Dustin's kindly said AMD today at 10:30. Okay, got it. Let's load up AMD, and it's going to be more applicable versus the triple Q. So, okay. I can already think I'm going to poo-poo this one. AMD and AMD. Okay, the entry is there, got it. Okay, so here, yeah, and then stop loss, lower the day, just, okay, under there, got it. Okay, let me get it shows on the daily chart, which you just click that magnet on and off if you want to show it on the daily chart or not. Okay, so Dustin's taking the entry here. It's an Immorello 21-day EMA Immorello. Got the MACD cross coming through in here, so that's going to be 10:30, and let's go up here like this. Okay, 10:30. Oh, got to turn the magnet off now. Got to remember to do that. Okay, 10:30. Go 10:30 on the Qs, which is going to be this bar here. Okay, thanks for giving me a tricky one, Dustin. So let's start off on the daily chart, and then we'll work our way down onto the intraday chart. On the daily chart, I think you already know what I'm going to say, Justin. AMD, absolute laggard, like huge laggard down here, just cannot get up. Stocks in a downtrend, below the 50, below the 65-day EMA, below the 200-day simple period moving average. For me, complete avoid. I think there are a lot stronger stocks elsewhere. So from a daily chart perspective, for me, avoid, showing a significant amount of relative weakness. If we're just looking at it on an intraday basis, okay, first 5-minute candlestick, AMD tries to rally. You see that with the supply shoot? Tries to rally. Okay, so it opens here, tries to rally, oopsie daisy, someone smashes it back down. Okay, the next 5-minute bar at 9:35, it's down here. The triple Qs in the first 10 minutes and 15 minutes is stronger than AMD. Okay, when AMD in here, when the triple Qs at 9:45 and 9:50 is able to rally through the high of the day, AMD is down here, way off the high of the day. See this big gap here? This is intraday relative weakness. For me, currently in the avoid bar. It then trades down to the 21-day EMA, ebbs and flows a little bit, and then you have a strong reclaim bar here. So the only thing for me going for this is at 10:30, okay, AMD prints a lot stronger bar than the triple Qs. Do you see this? If we were to do this, so it's around the low of the day, the triple Qs, AMD kind of around the low of the day as well, but up until that point, I think it's showing intraday relative weakness. However, that 10:30 bar is stronger. Okay, nice reclaim, reclaims the 5-minute 6 EMA, reclaims the 5-minute 21 EMA. Triple Qs is not able to reclaim either of those moving averages. So at that time there, at 10:30 on the screws, I think, yes, it is stronger. However, I think there's a lot of intraday relative weakness, relative weakness on the daily chart. I also think up until that point, there's a lot of intraday relative weakness too. Relative weakness daily chart, relative weakness on the intraday chart as well. For me, AMD would be an avoid. That's a real tricky one because at that time, well done, it's a winning trade. Good 10:30 strong bar, but for me, there's probably better opportunities to have a gone for today. For instance, let me go and load up, say, QBTS and QBTS. So quantum computing stocks, we spoke about, what did we speak about earlier? We spoke about RGTI a little bit earlier. So if you look at QBTS, for instance, so it's not just, okay, yeah, good, AMD, it's now pulling it back up to the high of the day, well, unprofitable trade, but it's also the opportunity cost of AMD relative to other things you could have been targeting today. So if you look at QBTS, there's kind of an Immorello, there's a 5-minute ORB as well. But if we were to look around 10:30, well, it's actually already gone. There's the kind of an entry around here. So I would be something like this in here. Let's just put this on. And then let's risk it down to kind of the low here underneath the 10-day EMA. A little bit, a lot quicker stock, maybe 10 times as quick, 8 times as quick, 7 times as quick. But if you look at QBTS is currently up 10%, whereas AMD was able to pop up here and you're currently up like 0.5%. I know which stock I'd rather be in, right? I'm not trying to poo-poo the AMD trade. I'm just trying to say the focus of this session is on relative strength on the daily chart and intraday relative strength. I think you're best off over a large series of trade. Focus on the stocks that are showing you 1, relative strength on the daily chart, and 2, intraday relative strength as well. I think over the series of large trades, you'll be happier with the end result. Be kind of my view on it. So that wasn't a 10-minute run, was it? It was a 30-minute run, but hopefully it was helpful. I'll bring Shane in 15 minutes or so, and then I'll bring Case in for 15 minutes as well to finish up. I know Shane had some questions about shorting, so let me bring in Shane. If there's any other stocks you guys want me to go through, just let me know. Hey Shane, you okay?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, can hear you. Can hear you fine. Thank you.
Great.
So to just take some water on. Any trades that you've taken from today, Shane, or yesterday?
I took one yesterday in Tesla.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Which was supposed to be in Morello.
I'm gonna tell you off. Okay.
So, no, yeah. Please tell me. I want you to tell me what I did wrong. It was around. Let's show the timing here.
I'm gonna say
10:40, 10:30, 10:40.
Okay, around here. Okay, got it.
And
that was the 23rd of Jan, yeah, yesterday.
Yeah, 23rd. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I saw it sort of, it obviously flushed down at the start. Then it seemed to sort of break off the 21-day and started heading up towards the 10-day. And then it crossed the 10-day, and the MACD crossed. It did cross, and it kind of looks, with the benefit of hindsight, it kind of looks like it didn't cross, but it did cross. And I guess my entry was something like 415 point something.
Okay, we got it. Right. So let's go here and here. How do you want me to be? How direct do you want me to be, Shane? I can
go on.
All right. So it's best if we're just black and white about it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So if we look at the first, so Shane's entry, I'm just going to say entry is around about. Would you say it's 10:30, Shane, or kind of 10:45ish, somewhere in here?
It was.
I'm going to say, Shane, just for the purpose of explaining.
It was at 10:34.
Okay, so it's this kind of bar is. Okay, so Shane's entry is going to be here. Just roughly, okay. We're within about 5 minutes of it, okay. That's going to be Shane's entry, and I'm just going to put entry here on the triple Qs just so we can kind of see the comparison time for the entry time again. Okay, first 5 minute candlestick. What's stronger? Bit of a tricky one actually. First 5 minute candlestick. What's stronger, Tesla or the Qs? What do you think? The 935 bar.
It kind of looks similar.
I would actually say, Shane, Tesla looks a little bit stronger. Kind of clears these kind of pre-market highs just before it starts trading. Triple Q's kind of below them. Triple Q's nice shakeout demand tail, but Tesla doesn't even go down. It tries to rally. The supply shoot indicates a bit of selling. But there are willing buyers, but the triple Qs goes down, so it indicates, okay, there's sellers, but then there's buyers, and then it closes pretty strong. 50-50, 60-40 in favor of Tesla. The Tesla's probably a bit stronger here. Yeah. But then, if we play it forward 2 more bars, okay, so I'm just going to point to the next 2 bars. This bar here, and this bar here. Now we're 15 minutes into the session at 9:40. What's stronger?
Yeah. Yes, the Qs is stronger.
Qs is able to push up first 15 minutes. See that? Push, push, push. Tesla, okay. And then going to fast forward to the 9:55 bar. This bar here. 9:55. What's stronger, Tesla or the Qs?
Yeah, the Qs is stronger.
Yeah, Qs. See this? Shakeout demand tail. Note where the session low is as well. See this? Session low down here. Tesla, that didn't even hold the first low, the first 5 minute count. It's making new session lows. Big breakdown through the 10-day EMA. Okay. Tesla, 9:55, weaker. Fast forward to kind of your entry. Okay, your entry at 10, we're just going to call it the 10:30 bar, 10:30 to 10:35 bar, okay? Look at where the high of the day is, Shane. I'm actually going to do it the other way. Okay, like this. Look at where the high of the day is. Look at where Tesla is. Okay. Look at where the high of the day is for the triple Qs. Triple Q, 10:30, 10:35, making a new high. See that?
Yeah. Yes.
Tesla, way off a new high. Tesla is giving you the Dustin threw me a bit of a curveball with the AMD one, right? Because it's weaker, suddenly stronger. But Tesla, other than the first 5 minute minute bar, which is a little bit 50-50, slightly favors Tesla. Tesla, other than that, is giving you no indication it's stronger than the Qs. Weaker in here, weaker in here. Feeble rally attempt, weaker here. Way off the highs. If you also look,
I can see what my mistake is already, because when I'm scanning through these, I'm looking at my Morello screen, which is split into two, but it's on the same stock. It's not comparing the stock with it's a 5 minute chart on the left hand side and the daily chart on a daily chart on the left hand side and the 5 minute chart with the MACD on the right. I'm just dialed into the leaders, right?
yep.
So
You're forgetting the comparison element of it, aren't you? You're forgetting to, because if you didn't look at the triple Qs, Tesla here may be showing incredible intraday relative strength, which could make it a fantastic 10-day, 21-day Morello to target. But it's not showing fantastic intraday relative strength. It's actually showing quite substantial intraday relative weakness. You don't want to target it. You could also think here as well, Shane. So this is obviously from an intraday perspective. Okay, look at it on the daily chart. What has the market done in the last 3 days leading up to that? 3-4 days. If I was to show you, so we're looking at kind of Jan 17th, which is going to be, let's just point to it in pink or something. So Jan 17th onwards. Okay, if you look at then Jan 21st, Jan 22nd, especially Jan 20, like Jan 22nd is a giveaway, Shane. Look at this bar here on the daily chart. Jan 22nd, Jan 22nd. The market gapped up big and tried to push up. Tesla gapped down.
Yeah.
You've got the market gapping up trying to go, and Tesla gapped down and closed really weak on the low of its day. So I
guess my question is, how do I play this in real time in terms of the screen that I'm looking at? Am I looking at my Morello screen, or am I looking at an Morello screen and a daily comparison screen between the stock and the triple Qs as well, or is it something else?
So if I'm looking at all of this, Shane, if I'm looking at a lot of trading like this, I would even say this is really kind of applicable if you're trading, just swing trading on the daily charts, looking for trigger bars, gap down versus bars, shakeout demand types, right? Is being very aware of relative strength and relative weakness. But the more information that you're able to assimilate and use effectively, the better that you'll be at making decisions in the moment. A lot of trading is actually just about avoiding the bad trades. Like Tesla here, bad trade. There's no need to take it. Relative weakness on the daily chart, intraday relative weakness. Avoid it. There's no need here. So if you imagine Shane 1 versus Shane 2, and chain 2 has got multiple charts laid out, very dialed in, very aware of, okay, this is intraday what's happening with the Qs and the SPYs. Intraday, this is what's happening to my list of leaders. My leaders are efficiently categorized. I've got TMLs, I've got drones, I've got quantum computing, I've got crypto stocks, whatever the themes of the day might be. I've got your kind of TML type stocks in there as well. A separate section for that. I can see where the strength is that day. What are the themes that are moving that day? So in terms of your chart layout, what size screen are you using, Shane? Or how many screens have you got, and what sizes are they?
It's a sort of large widescreen 38-inch monitor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I do have my laptop as well.
So that's fine. I would use your laptop for your brokerage, interactive brokers, whatever it may be. Okay.
Yeah.
Laptop is purely for execution. It's for that. It's for typing in orders really quickly. Okay, and being aware of things. I would split your screen in two.